Gosh. Thank you so much. It's been a brilliant evening. Thank you to our speakers. In the case of women's prisons, detention and immigration centers, it is always very important to ask whether, it's always been very important to ask whether incarceration was the appropriate solution for the problem of women who are criminalized. Whether it pays for society to spend so much on women's imprisonment, and often the care for their children, and whether, given how often women are the survivors of male violence, it is ever right or appropriate to force women to share such spaces with males, regardless of how they identify, or to be strip searched by male prison officers. We're called many things for questioning these things. B. Jaspert says in her moving contribution to Women's Place website, and I quote, "Women in prison are there for the most part because society doesn't care, because their safety and dignity as female people was and is not respected, and because society tolerates and excuses violent and abusive males and vilifies female victims." My prison experience was 33 years ago, but sorry to say, nothing has changed for the better. I hope we can turn that around, end quote. I think our speakers have more than confirmed these thoughts. I see a pattern of that lack of care for women, not just in prisons, but in every sphere of our lives. The way women are treated for advocating for ourselves has been an education for me in the last 4 years. And I have been following and studying women's issues more closely. And at the center of all of this is one simple premise: sex matters. Sex matters for women because it is on the basis of sex that women's bodies and labor is appropriated, and it's on the basis of sex that we are discriminated against in ways that range from ignoring us to attempting to erase us socially and legally. It is on the basis of sex that women have been so consistently refused an open and frank debate on issues that affect us, such as the one that brought us here tonight. I want to make a slight detour here because I just got confronted on the ground outside, on the grounds of racism. And I refrained from a response for the sake of women arriving in and keeping the peace, so to speak. But I wanted to say it now. Sex-based separatism is not the same as segregation. Segregation is imposed by a dominant population. Separatism is usually a defense mechanism by the population which lives under that domination. And in this case, that is women. We have that right. We have the right to separate ourselves from males for this reason, and if we are denied this, that will be simultaneously a denial of structural and institutional misogyny and a manifestation of that same structural and institutional misogyny. Today, I don't want to go away without pointing out that sex matters because it defines our sexual orientation. It's been a hell of a day. The reaction to a certain article published by the BBC yesterday has been revealing in multi-layered ways. Solidarity with our lesbian sisters. You have the right to naming and protecting your specific sexual orientation. You have the right to your spaces, and your first no should suffice. Shame on Stonewall for refusing to hear you out, heed your warnings, and recognizing problems with gender identity. You will have found flyers on your chairs, on your seats, with more information on the work of the Center for Crime and Justice Studies, and also keep prison single sex. Please take them with you and follow the information up, please. I'd like to thank the Queen Elizabeth II Centre for being so good to us. And allowing us to host this meeting. I'd also ask all attendees to contribute all you can, whether either here or at Women's Place website, to help us organize more of these events. It's great to do this physical thing. I love it. I want to thank all of our speakers. As J.K. Rowling said, we will win. We will win. Thank you.